Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we're talking about Season 4, Episode 20, title The Birth and Death of the Day, air date June 6th, 2007. And the synopsis is,
as graduation day dawns in Tree Hill, some dreams begin as others end. Haley prepares for her graduation speech and her role as a young mother, while Nathan prepares for life without basketball. Brooke makes a heartfelt confession that puts her future into jeopardy, and then Lucas confronts Dan as Karen's life is threatened.
So did you see that this was aired June 6th? Has there really been an episode that's been aired in June? Because I feel like I feel like on shows it always it always like starts in September and then it ends in May before Labor Day or before Memorial Day.
Right.
So I'm like, it's June and we got one more episode left. I'm like, dang, they really pushed it, didn't they?
Right. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. I'd have to go back in my notes or look it up, but yeah. But yeah, so we see pictures of Haley, Peyton, and Nathan, but Turner, takes off Nathan's pictures after everything.
This is weird. Why would you? That happened last episode. Why would you take it down now that he's graduating?
Yeah, I guess they just took that on our back that quick, yeah.
But why wouldn't you take it back when the controversy came out, which was last episode? Wouldn't that have been like a bigger statement? Not right now. Like, wouldn't they be taking down all the kids' pictures since they're graduating?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you take it down when he's graduating? That'd be the time that you take everyone's down. Unless they keep it up as like you want to become them one day. Like, this is the good stuff they're doing.
Right.
But I don't know. They didn't really act like that, so it kind of was weird. Also, did you realize like it was just the cast pictures up there? Like there was like maybe 2 other people. I'm like, wait a minute. So in this whole graduating class and in this whole school, there's only a few people that are doing good.
Yeah, I noticed that too, but it makes sense.
And most of them are the people on the show. I was like, what is up with that?
Yeah.
They could have had some random, like, other people on there. It was just kind of weird. It was like, Brooke, Haley, Peyton. I'm like, okay. Again, all people on the show.
Right.
I don't think you needed a whole board for that.
And then we have that replay of Dan saying to Karen that, could be having a miscarriage, and Lucas telling him not to touch her, and then he pulls the trigger. But then we finally see the bullet ending up hitting the wall behind Dan's head.
Oh my God. And then Lucas was like, he goes like, I won't miss next time. Like that he's ready to shoot him. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, that wasn't actually how he just missed Dan.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Lucas. And then yeah, Dan just keeps like, saying like, she might be having a miscarriage and like, like all worried about her. Lucas is like, don't touch her.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah. I was like, okay. But it was weird that Dan actually did, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess that's just because Lucas had the gun and already shot it once, so he didn't want to take his chances.
Yeah, but don't you feel like because Dan this whole season has been like, I deserve any treatment that I get from anyone because of what happened. Like he's just so, whatchamacallit? Like he did, yeah, like he just wants now the punishment that don't you think that if Lucas actually did shoot him, he would be like, great, this is what I deserve. Like, instead of don't shoot me. I feel like now he's to that point because he's been all season. Like whatever's happened, he's like, I'll just deal with it because I
Yeah, well,
deserve it.
well, maybe he's thinking of like, if I get hurt, I can't help Karen, if she survives what's going on right now, or like Lucas might go to jail if he does kill me, and I don't want that, or something like that. So he might actually not be thinking of himself.
Because I'm like, it's just weird. He just like wanders away. I'm like, that was easy to like get rid of him.
Mm-hmm. And then, Haley and Nathan are together, and
Oh, I also noticed too, Karen is not as big as Haley. Like her little pouch.
yeah, because wasn't Haley pregnant first?
Well, they're like pregnant at the same time, kind of. So it's weird because like it's Karen on the ground, but she just has because like Lucas puts his hand on her stomach and
Mm-hmm.
it's not that big. And then you transition to Haley and she has a bigger stomach. And I'm like, okay, this doesn't add up. Because like, you know, Karen's would be noticeable because it's her second pregnancy. And I just don't really believe she'd be that little.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they were like a few weeks apart at least, or something.
Yeah, and Karen said she was pregnant first. She announced it first.
Wasn't Haley holding on to her announcement for a while?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think that they were due. Yeah, but even if she's 8 months pregnant, she should still be bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird she wouldn't be.
Right.
So that's the only thing I got. But it was sad to see Lucas this whole episode of just worrying about his mom.
Mm-hmm. And then Haley and Nathan are together, worried about what's going to happen with Nathan's career. And, he never realized the day would come that he was never going to play again, or, come up so soon, at least, like, because he thought it'd be like more like retirement kind of thing.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have done what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whose fault was that? Nobody's but yours.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, he's even called, other schools to see if he could, get in, but no. And then,
So
Haley,
I didn't like that Haley said, "Well, Skills is going to college. Have him ask the coach." Like, here's the thing: it's not like Skills is like, uh, it's not like it was
has a
Nathan.
poll
Yeah, it's not like it was Nathan going where he was like the star of the team and he's going to
where
be the
everybody knew him.
star, right? And he's going to be the star of this one and he's got all this leverage. Like Skills basically barely got the scholarship and now you want him to beg his coach, his new coach that he's probably never met, to play?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure they've heard of Nathan and they probably were judging it. Like, really, Haley? Like, you want Skills to ruin his opportunity for Nathan, who did what he did? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Nathan had a decision and chose the wrong one. So he deserves whatever he's going to get. I'm sorry, but he does. And for Haley to just be like, to not even really acknowledge that he did anything wrong and to just be like, well, you should get opportunity. Why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, that's not the real world. So
Yeah, it's
I
just,
didn't like that she was like, have Skills do it. No, skill.
mm-hmm.
And think about it. If coach couldn't even do it, get him onto a team, why would
Mm-hmm.
you think Skills could?
Right. It's just the optimistic person she is, trying to
Well,
find hope anywhere.
she's actually annoying because she never like says like sorry, like she never like considers that this is what happens when you do something like shaving points. Like she doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying, you know?
Right.
Like everybody, they kind of don't really say anything where I feel like in real life they would. You know? So I just don't like it. I'm like, but don't ruin skills. Like his opportunity. That's not a good friend, Haley.
Yeah, I was looking this up, see if they were close. It seems like that Karen slept with Keith in episode 13 of season 3 of the thunderstorm with the power outage, and then 3 episodes before that's when Nathan and Haley slept together. So however much time that would be in One Tree Hill time. But yeah, so and then she gets that call about Deb being in the hospital, of course, so they go over there.
Who's in
And
the
Deb
hospital?
too. Karen, what did I say?
Oh, you said Deb's in the hospital.
Oh, I meant Karen is in the hospital, then Deb goes there too because Lucas called her, or maybe Nathan called her, probably, but yeah. So yeah, she has eclampsia, which gives her seizures. I thought actually was hemorrhaging.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but yeah, so and then she's unconscious, of course, because of the shock of it all with the gun and Lucas. And Lucas is just stressed because he's about to graduate now. He doesn't know if his mom and his unborn sibling's going to make it. And then Dan and knowing about that, and nobody else knows but Karen, but didn't believe him. So he's just in a tough place right now all around. And then Deb offers to get Karen's things, pack up some things from the house for her. And then Haley volunteers to call Peyton for him.
I like when Deb told her, like, don't stress because, like, you're pregnant too. Like, it showed finally that Deb cares. Also, isn't it weird the transition from like last episode when she's like, all obsessed over her gun and everything, and then all of a sudden this episode she's just like jumping into caring mode, and I'm like, it's a weird transition. It's not like she's been good for a whole episode. She, didn't really care last episode. Now all of a sudden she's gonna be this person that will leave you lit with Karen.
Right.
Like there was no transition from.
All
of a sudden she's just good now. Like we trust her. I would think that you would take a little longer to trust somebody like that.
Right. And I thought the timing was weird of her asking Haley, like, have you mentioned, anyone about my gun at the house?
Yeah. Well, weird.
Yeah, because she didn't have any suspicion that something happened with it yet until Haley says that she told Lucas. So,
well, I guess it was missing. So I guess that's why she asked her. But yeah. It's weird because it obviously comes after Lucas already shot the gun.
Yeah, it just seems like pretty quick that she would be able to find out it's missing. But yeah.
Well, I'm guessing when she went home, like when Lucas said anybody home and nobody answered, I'm guessing when she went home, she had probably searched the whole house. And it's a pretty big house. And she probably was like, oh crap, it's missing. And this is the next morning, I guess. Because Lucas took the gun the night before. Or the day before. So I would think it would be at night still because he shot it, I thought, at night. So he would have had to take Karen to the hospital at night.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't know.
Don't you think? Because they're kind of acting like it's the next morning. But I would think that he would have had to. Because remember, Dan and Karen were having dinner. And that's when it all happened. So I would think he would have had to take her, obviously, right then and there. And he would have called Haley right then and there for support. So I don't know.
Right. It would only happen, within like a half hour, not like 8 hours. So yeah.
Right. And I think that everybody would come together that night for you and stay with you.
Yeah. I mean, that way, definitely would have been enough time for her to figure out the gun's gone. But yeah, the way that they planned it out, it doesn't seem like that much time went by. And then Brooke walks into the bedroom at the apartment where Payne asks Brooke, what's wrong? And Brooke says nothing. So Payne mentions that, they're going to be graduating soon. And that means, partying and equals, Brooke Davis minus her clothes, which I thought was more like Rachel's saying at this point. But
yeah. Well, then she said, Brooke said, well, not, we're not all graduating. And she goes, Rachel should be here. It's like, oh my God, like quit with the Rachel thing.
Yeah, she just feels guilty about Rachel taking the fall, even though they were kind of both involved in the cheating and stealing of the calculus.
Yeah, like you both were involved. Like, let's be honest, it
Mhm.
was her idea.
Mhm.
She's the one that got the clothes to do it. She's the one that orchestrated the whole thing. So you think that she doesn't deserve any punishment, really? Like, honestly, you both probably should be kicked out of school.
Mhm.
Like, instead of just, oh, like, do you really think Turner wouldn't have punished her?
Right.
Like, he would have punished both of you.
Mhm.
And I think Rachel may have known that. That's why she was like, I'll just take the fall because we both shouldn't be punished.
Mhm.
That's probably why she did it, because she knew
Yeah.
Brooke would also get in trouble.
Mhm.
It's not like one would be left out off the hook. You both
Mhm.
did it.
Yeah. And then Payne gets a call from Haley about Karen, and then Deb is about to walk out. Um, oh yeah, so now this is where she notices the bullet hole in the wall, putting the dots together. And then Peyton walks into Karen's room in the hospital where Lucas is, and he says she's not doing good, and the attack could harm her kidneys and lungs and everything. And that's when Deb returns and
Oh
lets
my
Peyton have a
God.
moment alone with Lucas. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when Peyton leaves and oh my God, out of nowhere, Deb just comes up and slaps Lucas. Okay, I have a problem. Okay, why is it on this show nobody says I'm sorry for what they just did?
Right, yeah, because after the good smack, Lucas is like, "Are you on drugs?" And then
But
so
when she finds out, she doesn't apologize. When Karen found out, she never apologized for doing the same thing. It's like Wyatt when Whitey found out about Nathan and not Luke, like it wasn't Lucas, he never these adults need to apologize to these children. Like, I don't care if they're 18 or not. Like, why is nobody saying, I'm sorry I hit you? I'm sorry I took my anger out on you. Like, why?
I
Nobody
mean
nobody is apologizing for what they
I
just did.
mean Lucas did take her gun, so, I mean, maybe he didn't deserve a slap exactly for it, but maybe
No,
yelled at, yeah.
he didn't deserve a slap because he was trying to protect his mother.
Mhm,
And once Deb finds out, she understands. So I don't get
mhm,
why she wouldn't just say, I'm so sorry for that. Like, it's a very quick, like 1 second thing. Like, I don't understand why nobody says it.
mhm.
None of them say it.
And then she said that there was a police officer 40 yards down from the hall. Was that maybe a security guard she's talking about? Because I don't think she called a cop to the hospital.
I don't know. Maybe one was already there for some other case.
Yeah. And then, that's when, he says, you won't believe me. And she said, you're she's about as crazy as she can get, without being committed. So to try her. And that's when,
He
Lucas finally
tells her.
tells her. And then she figures out exactly how this happened, which was, good for Lucas because at least now he knows, why too, because he's probably thinking about that for a while
Well, and
himself.
and it's good for Lucas because everyone else kind of thinks he's going crazy. And it's like, which I still don't understand why, because it's Dan Scott, but like he's no angel. Uh but I'm just happy for Lucas that he finally has somebody that believes him
Mm-hmm.
because I think you have to think about like in the world of like if you keep saying it, people and they keep saying you're crazy, you're gonna believe it that you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you tell enough people, and I think for him to have one person to say you're not, it's like, wait a minute, you're right. I'm not. Like I can believe this theory for the rest of my life because you believe it with me. I think Lucas needed that. Otherwise, he probably would have believed he was crazy. Like, let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest. Like, it could have been written that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy that he finally has, and I think too, he has somebody that he can talk to, he can go to for advice, he can go to when he needs to vent, and that's Deb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, everyone else is like, don't talk about it. It was Jimmy. Let's brush it under the rug. I mean, yeah, he can talk to Mouth and Skills about it because they also don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
But for an adult to tell you you're not wrong, I think also helps too, you know? Like, it's not just one of your friends that are just your yes person.
Yeah, and he, Deb knows that he's the kind of person that wouldn't shoot someone. That's why he missed, and that's what she says. There's a reason he didn't shoot Dan. He knows it, and it's not the way because he was raised by Keith, so that's the kind of person he is. But I didn't like how he just had the gun still in his coat pocket while he's in the hospital, like that.
Yeah, you would think you'd put it down. Also, too, as much as it's great that he has somebody, there's only one thing, and that's the person that believes him is Deb, and she doesn't really have a track record right now for believing her. Like, if somebody says something, they're gonna go, "Ah, you're funny," like, because she doesn't have a track record in season 4 for telling the truth.
Right, it would be
So
just like the boy calling wolf.
right, and it would be like the same thing of like when Lucas says like somebody told me, like I have a girl that like when he told Karen and she's like whatever, like because the girl never came forward. So it's like it's like the same thing of like, well, Deb believes me, to be like, really? You got Deb to believe you?
Yeah, and he didn't even have to mention Abby, yeah.
Right. So it's like, yeah, he has these people, but people are gonna just still think that he's crazy. But again, just for this factor of he can talk to somebody. But yeah, I'm like, and the whole fact that it's Deb is a little like, eh.
I mean,
But
better than nothing.
yeah, it's better than nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, so she tells, Lucas to go see Peyton because she'll watch over Karen so Dan doesn't try anything.
And then she
That'll
said,
be
"Stay away
justice.
from him."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's sitting outside the hospital too in his car. So yeah, he's keeping a close eye as much as he can with Karen. And then back inside the hospital in the waiting room, Payne asks Haley how her speech is going. And she says, not great since, she's supposed to put about how they should believe in good things when it's feeling false today. And then that's when Ethan says he thinks he's going to take a year off, work at night and take care of the baby so she can take her classes.
So finally, Nathan's gonna get a job. I was like, wow, it only took this for you to get a job.
Yeah, when he's an adult, yeah, like fully legally, yeah.
Yeah, but remember when he said when he's done with basketball, back in March, he was going to get himself a job, and that never happened.
Right.
So I was like, wow, he's finally going to follow his through and get a job. Which, if you are taking a year off, you should go get a job, especially if you have a family to support.
Right. Yeah, so he says he'll save up and go next year. And, Haley says no, he'll go this year and play basketball. They're not giving up on that. So, yeah, this is where my optimism would run out by now, because he already tried. I mean, either way, like, even if he doesn't go, like he said this year, the reality, like you said, they have to get money from somewhere. They just can't both go to school or, him waiting to see if he can go to school and just not do anything else. So,
Yeah,
he has to do something.
You can't sit at home if you have a baby to support. Like your mom, you can't be the mama's boy forever that is gonna have Deb pay for everything. Like also too, here's the thing, like this is where it would run out for me too, is Nathan called apparently every school. And Whitey also tried. Like Haley knows that she went to Whitey. And clearly Whitey has come back with nothing. So you would think too, like, here's the end, because Whitey tried, Nathan tried. Like there is no leverage anymore. Like
unless it's in another country, but yeah.
Yeah, so I that's where I would also lose it too when you said that, because I'm like, yeah, aren't you getting it, Haley? Like there is no other option for him.
Yeah, because even if someone would want to take him, it's like getting really close because the season would start pretty soon. And then doesn't Peyton even said about skills talking to somebody, I think, in this scene? Because
Maybe
Nathan seemed to have a little bit of his hopes up again.
Either that or she brings up the job. Like Skills had a job planned. Remember?
Well, Haley told Nathan that. I think Peyton told him something, unless I mistyped that. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And then that's when Lucas and Deb walk out into the waiting room, and there's no change for Karen. So, Payne asks if there's anything they can do, and that's when Deb says, it's their last day to be, kids, so they should just go, even though Lucas doesn't want to leave. But Deb says, if anything changes, she'll call him. Even though she ends up texting him, I noticed later on, because he never picks up his phone. He just looked at it. So I'm thinking she just texted him.
Probably because she probably didn't know what he was doing, so she didn't want to
Yeah, but if it was
call.
an emergency like that, she should have called. Yeah, because he could have missed the text. So yeah.
She probably knows that he's a teenager and he has his phone on him. And plus, he was always going to keep his phone on him because if he's waiting for news. So
Mm-hmm. And then even Haley, says that's a good idea to get some food and take a shower. Nathan, being the brother, he adds that he does stink.
that was funny.
Yeah, even Haley hits him within her notebook. That was funny. And then, so that's when Deb says for Lucas to stay away from Dan. And then Chase shows up at the apartment because Brooke invited him there. And, Brooke's not feeling great either because Karen's in the hospital. But there's something else. She said she's going to turn herself in for stealing the calculus exam. So this is the second time she said she was going to do it.
And hasn't done it.
Well, Rachel stopped her the last time. So, and, Chase is like, what's the point? Because it's the day before graduation. And she explains, she was looking at the wall of honor earlier and she hasn't blown up there. And, just wouldn't feel right to graduate, especially without Rachel. And, Chase is like, Rachel's, already gone. It's over. What's going to change? And she says, the way she looks at herself, feels about herself, which is a good point. At least she realizes that because, junior Brooke or, probably at least sophomore Brooke wouldn't feel this way. She would probably, let whoever, take the fall for her. So this is definitely growth for her.
She would have, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then this is when Chase says, he loves her for this, but, she can't do that. And she catches it, but he doesn't realize it. So, and then that comes back later on, vice versa. But
I was like, I'm like, how long have these people really been together?
I don't know.
Because, but
it's
then
supposed to be May or close to June.
But then I guess when I really look at it, like for Brooke, when she was with Lucas, she said, I love you pretty fast. Remember, they were saying, I love you within a couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe that's just Brooke's MO is saying, I love you very fast in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things seem to go faster anyhow when you're a teenager. So, and then, so then Bevan goes to see Skills at the River Court, saying that she has good news. Her parents want to have his parents over for dinner.
This is weird.
Yeah, because it's like very last minute, and they've been dating for like at least a year, maybe, or on and off for a year, something like that.
That's my point. Is you would have the parents would have met to the first probably month or two, because you want
a few months, yeah.
Yeah, but you want to know who your child is hanging out with and whose house they're going to. So as a parent, an involved parent, you're going to be like, I need to know, need to meet these people. So
unless they're like Brooke and Peyton's parents, but yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like Skill's parents aren't like that.
Yeah, I'm talking about Bevan's, yeah.
But I'm saying Skill's parents, I feel like would probably have wanted to meet, but they seem like they're good people that want to meet their son's girlfriend's parents. So it's weird that they haven't. And I don't know, until now, like a whole year later.
Yeah, I think it's even more weird that Bevan never even told her parents who she was dating, because like you point out, does her parents even know that he's Black? And that's when she says no, and she doesn't see any concern about that. So, and then maybe she's not, I mean, I would say maybe Bevan's parents aren't concerned at the moment just because they think that maybe they won't last much longer because they're about to graduate high school. So maybe there's no point in asking, or like I said, I don't think they're much involved with Bevan's life because they would have at least asked for a picture or something or his name and saw him in the yearbook or something. I don't know. just to get an idea,
Yeah. But also, I also find it weird that after Skills has been to Bevan's house. I don't know. It's
I mean,
just
they weren't there, but yeah.
I know, but I'm saying for like his parents, wouldn't it be like whose house are you going to?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's just weird again after a whole year. It's weird.
Yeah, and Bevan being clueless for the longest time, like saying, "Oh, my parents never had any issue with my friends," and then that's when he was like, "Well, I'm not your friend," so that's a different
Oh,
story.
also, I just thought of it.
Hmm.
His parents were not at the state championship
Right.
because at the state championship, Bevan and Skills were hugging and making out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if they didn't know before, they would have found out at the game
Mm-hmm.
that he was with her and she was with
Yeah.
him.
Maybe they're just the kind of parents that are like more, involved with work than his life. So like they're kind of like Brooke's parents basically and Peyton's dad. You know.
But when we meet them, they don't seem like it.
Yeah, I know. That's just the only logical reason why they wouldn't know
So
by now. Yeah.
so that's why I'm confused because they seem again like normal parents,
Mm-hmm.
not like the parents we've seen. And so that's why I'm like, wait a minute, because I feel like the mom, like Skills' mom, would at least attend his game because maybe his dad is working late.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that, like maybe his mom would at least go, and then she would see that it's Bevan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I don't understand at all.
Right. But I thought it was funny how Bevan said, if her parents has a problem with them, then, they're not the parents she raised them to be, still not concerned. But yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. And then Nathan shows up right after, and Skills, said that he was giving Lucas and his family some space, even though everybody else was there. But, um, that's when I guess Skills had the idea already to talk to the coaches about Nathan because he already told him right there that nothing happened out of the conversation he had with the coaches there. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
he must have.
And that's when Nathan brings up about Haley mentioning that scholarship in the factory. So, if he can take that job instead, since Skills is going to college. So, Skills, of course, says he'll talk to his dad. No problem. And, Skills says he's sorry, but Nathan says, that's the risk he took, commit a crime. Sometimes it catches up to you. So, Nathan's owning up to what he did.
Finally, at least somebody is.
Mm-hmm. And then that's when Lucas is already there waiting for Dan at the beach house. So much for listening to Deb. But of course, we knew he wasn't going to do that.
Nope, because he wants revenge on him.
Yeah, especially now with Karen in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dan, tries to, talk to him like he knows that he's mixed up in all this. And, Lucas is like, well, you're saying you didn't kill Keith? And he says, is that what he wants him to believe? And Dan says, yes, with all his heart. And Lucas says that's not going to happen. And, Dan says it's a lose-lose situation. If his mother doesn't wake up, he'll never forgive himself. But if she does, then she'll never forgive him unless somehow he's mistaken. So he's still trying to manipulate Lucas, trying to get his way so he doesn't lose Karen. That's his only priority. He really doesn't care about anybody else.
Well, and then he said he says, maybe you'll never pay for it, but I promise you my mom's gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dan, when he said, what about her child, Keith's
Yeah.
child?
Mm-hmm.
And then so he went a step further and said, another kid raised without a father like you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
He's talking about himself.
But he took the baby's father from her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he did it on his own twice. Yeah.
But how can you say, so what, her child should be raised without a father? It's like, you took her father.
Yeah, he's just, like I say, he's just trying to make sure he can keep Karen. He doesn't care about Lucas, doesn't care about Nathan and losing them. He just cares about
But
Karen.
that's what I would have said. I would have said, what are you talking about? You killed her, like the child, because they don't know it's a girl yet. You killed the baby's father. What are you talking about? Like, I wish Lucas would have said that, because I'm like, what? Because, well, then, I mean, I guess he said, I had Keith until you took
Yeah.
him from us. And it's like, in that, it should be like, here you go, Dan. You killed him. So now or this baby does not have a father again because of you.
Yep.
So I don't get why he would say, what, she should be raised, or, the baby should be raised without a father. I mean, you chose that.
Right.
So again, if you did not kill him, Keith would be right there. So, because again, it wasn't Jimmy that did it. So it's like, no. And here's the thing, like like Dan is acting like Keith had an accident or an illness that killed him.
Yeah, like he had nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just acting like, oh, somehow he died, and now the baby isn't gonna have a father, and it's like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the
And
only
Lucas is
reason.
being unreasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're the only reason why the baby wouldn't have a father, Dan. Like, oh my
Yep.
God. Like, I was just thinking of that whole thing. I'm like, seriously? Keith would be alive if it wasn't for you. I'm like, he didn't have an illness. He did like, but you're making it sound like he did.
Right. Yeah, and Lucas telling Dan, like he's gonna be for the child, not him. So, the child was gonna be okay either way, And then Peyton and Haley are at the apartment making ice cream floats because, I guess what else they're gonna do when this is going on. And then Peyton says, let people go to therapy, but this is, just can fix about anybody. And Haley says it works for her. And then Peyton asks Haley if her parents are coming back for graduation. And she says, no, they'd rather come back when the baby's born. So she'll see them soon. So this is kind of like with her wedding, like they saw the first one. So there's no point coming to the second one. Like they just don't mind missing. They're like picking milestones of which ones they want to be there for, which isn't right as a parent. But, I don't know. Somehow they never seemed like that when we saw them, but yet here they are being absent like all the other parents, minus Karen and
oh my God, this is so funny to watch.
Really just her, but yeah.
No, because you heard what she said.
Mm-hmm.
You heard what Peyton said. Are
About her dad?
Are your parents? Parents means more than one.
Mm-hmm.
In season 7, when her mom comes back, and we find out that her dad had passed,
Right.
and we see the video of her mom's life with her girls, in it is Haley's graduation with her mom and the girls. And I was like, first of all,
High school graduation?
yes.
I didn't catch that before.
Yeah, if you watch the video, it's hilarious because clearly they just dressed her up right then and there because it looks nothing like this Haley. And yeah, I was like, y'all realize that Haley had graduated without mommy dearest. Like, and plus here, Peyton says your parents. She didn't say your mom. So where's Daddy-O in the pictures?
Probably taking the picture.
It was weird. I'm like, they're, because we find out then. But I was just like, it doesn't make any sense because Daddy would have been there. So I just found that weird, but it's because they had to find some pictures with the girls and their mom, but it didn't make any sense because she had the baby on graduation day and
they still didn't show up.
And her mom wasn't there when she had the baby. So how are you going to take a picture of her pregnant at graduation?
Yeah.
It does not add up. Plus, apparently her dad is still alive here. So that doesn't add up either. Because it's not like when she sees that picture of her mom on her graduation in season 7. It's not like she says, I miss dad. Like there's no sense of him. Like,
well, I figured he passed between high school graduation and college graduation, unless that was supposed to be graduation, college, or graduation, college graduation. But
well, she's pregnant, so It's high school.
Oh, well then, yeah, high school. Yeah, so I don't know.
So I got a kick out of when Peyton said your parents. I'm like, oh, so there is two. Because pretty soon in the
And
picture there won't be.
yeah, and like usually you take pictures of, with your, whoever's graduating with, everybody usually like after the ceremony and not before. So obviously she wasn't even there for after the ceremony because she had left early because she was giving birth. So that doesn't make sense either. So
Well, and she has a baby, and where's mom?
yeah,
She
so I
said
said they didn't come back,
she said they're
which
coming
we said they
back.
would.
Because even next episode, it's what, 2 weeks later? Because isn't it like the baby's 2 weeks old or something?
Yeah, yeah.
And her parents aren't there, so it's
Yeah,
weird. 'Cause I'm
Arno
like,
mentioned that they came and left, yeah.
yeah. So I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like her saying this now.
Mhm.
Because I just laugh because I'm like, why would you throw in a picture of them when that did not happen?
Right. And then, Haley asks about Peyton's dad, and he too doesn't think graduation is important enough because he's just going to meet her in California when she moves there in 2 weeks. So, yeah.
That's stupid.
Mhm.
That
And
man,
then
that man must have a secret life. He must have like another family that he
mhm.
just goes back and forth to.
Right.
Well, that does happen.
Yeah. And then Nathan shows up and, he tells Haley that Skills hooked him up. And Haley, excitedly asks, with his team. And he says no, with his dad. Which if he had finished that sentence before she, said, the game, that would have been weird. That like he would have said Skills hooked him up with his dad, like that in that context is weird. But yeah, so he got the job at the factory, but he has to start like today. Which I'm surprised it was so soon, but yeah, I guess because the job was waiting for Skills, but yeah. Um, Haley's disappointed about hearing, a job and not basketball, but wants to still be supportive. So, Nathan tells her it's good money and, it's, so much for the last day of being a kid. And then Brooke goes into Turner's office and tells him she's the one that stole the calculus exam, even though it was her and Rachel. I would have just said, I cheated because that's what she did alone. Well, I mean, Rachel did help her, but she didn't know that part. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was like, okay. But I was actually surprised she was going to confess, like, because she's been saying and all and feeling guilty that I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. But she finally says it.
Yeah.
And and honestly, like Turner must be like the best principal in the world to not punish her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he gave Peyton a harder time for her locker that she didn't deface. So yeah.
Exactly. And he gave
Mm-hmm.
Rachel a hard time. Well, Brooke would be equally as guilty as Rachel. So, and he said, whoever cheats gets expelled or
Mm-hmm.
worse, or worse. That was his words.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the truth, then she should have graduation taken away. Like it doesn't make any sense that you're going to punish Rachel and not punish Brooke.
Right.
Do you remember on Dawson's Creek when that whole thing, like Pacey wasn't getting in trouble, but the other kid was because he, did that to Joey's locker? It's like the same thing. I feel like that would have been a thing of like, why is Brooke not getting in trouble?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, think about it. Staff would probably be like, because, it would get around, I'm sure, that she did it. And they would have been like, well, how come Rachel got expelled?
Right.
She didn't get to go to prom. She didn't get to go to graduation, but Brooke gets to do everything.
Maybe that was a conversation, talk about the teachers next year.
What not to do.
Right. Yeah, so that's when Lucas shows up at the apartment to spend time with Peyton before he goes back to the hospital to see Karen. And then he asks, if they can just stay there for the rest of the summer, though. And, Payne says that there was a chance until she took the internship. So before he was telling her to go, but now he was like, changing his mind now that his mom was in the hospital, wanting her to stay.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then he says, it's okay. He's glad she took it. And, she says it could be long summer. And he says it'll probably fly by. So then, making
So
her feel better.
after summer, then they're gonna see each other
Yeah, I guess, unless he
when
goes down
y-
there to visit her.
when school starts, because I thought she stays in LA.
Yeah, she does, but maybe that wasn't the original plan. Maybe she was gonna come back and do something else in Tree Hill.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when we get to that time jump, we can come back to that because they can't exactly like they give a little bit detail, but not too much detail of what happened to them. So yeah, something happened that summer, I guess.
Well, where was Lucas supposed to be going right now? Like, preparing for.
Um, well, I think that's what he was talking to with Glinda. Like he says that he doesn't know what he's gonna do. Like he's writing his novel, but like he hasn't sent it to like any publishers or anybody, so he really doesn't know what's gonna happen to him right now. So
But was he going to college?
no, he never spoke of it.
No.
I mean,
Well,
he
I'm,
could have, he could have and should have for writing, but yeah, no,
well,
doesn't speak of it.
I know he wanted to go to that one school. Remember the one that Karen took him to?
Was that Stanford? I don't remember.
I don't know what school it was, but I just remember because he said, well, we
Hmm.
can't afford it. And she said, Keith left money for you.
Right.
So maybe that's where he was supposed to go. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
They just never
It
talked
probably,
about.
yeah, it probably was. It just got dropped, so that's why it's easy to forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
With everybody else talking about what they're gonna do. Yeah, they should have brought it back up, but for some reason just wanted to focus on Karen here. But yeah. And then yeah, so he says like he doesn't want to hold her back, even though she says, being a little disappointed of her not staying would be good for her ego. And he, just doesn't want to take that, put out that magic in her. So at least he's being supportive there.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, he does say that he wishes that they never left the hotel room in Honey Grove just because, she was perfect and they were perfect and the night was perfect and that was before anything bad like this happened,
So I
which I
like
get
them.
too.
I like them all cute because, again, in season 4, we don't have that many cute scenes of them as a couple. So I was happy that we got this, especially because it's a sad episode for Lucas.
Hmm.
I was happy we got, one little cute scene of them.
Yeah. And then we just see Deb staying with Karen and then Dan's at his house with the gun. And then Nathan meets Skills' dad at the factory,
So how
for the
did Dan get the gun?
Um, I'm thinking that's probably the gun that Jimmy had that he just kept, especially because that was evidence that he killed Keith too. Because did he have a gun before that? I can't remember.
Mm,
I think it was only Deb that had one.
I don't know. Can't remember.
Yeah. It would be weird if it wasn't the gun that Jimmy had, unless he just had two. But you think he'd just have one that he would keep around, um, and like destroy Jimmy's if he had it. But yeah, so Nathan's ready to work, and of course, Skills' dad knows everything about the point shaving and the game because Skills probably told him. Um, he's asking, if hard work scares him, and Nathan says no and calling him sir. So Skills' dad tells him to call him Charles or Chuck. And then that's when Nathan's like, Chuck Taylor, like the shoes, and he says no, I'm like the guy who's gonna work his, sorry ass to the bone, and then has him carry, the pipes and everything for a while. And then back with Brooke and Turner, she explains how she passed the calculus test. So it just figures that, he has to punish her now. But then she goes on the further explanation, like she was, when she was a freshman, she wasn't a good person. She was popular and dated seniors, but, as a person, she was lost. And over the last 4 years, she was forced to grow up and stop letting boys define her and believe in herself and everything. And, along the way, the party girl became the girl on the wall of honor. And she knows what she did was wrong, but the girl who came to the school, she's not so sure she would have.
And so it's funny because she was like, talking about like the point of high school, and like, isn't that what they've been trying to teach them? And he goes, actually, we've been trying to teach you not to cheat in calculus.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny,
Yeah.
but it made it sound like he was about to be like, okay, you're expelled.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But of course, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can see that she's been feeling a good amount of guilt of letting Rachel take the fall, but then not saying I'll do this for Rachel to make up for it.
Well,
He
and then
doesn't do any of that
yeah,
we
because
see.
because he's like, oh, you must be feeling guilty, and she's like, yeah, and then he says, so you're, like, what are you doing after? And he said, are you going to college? And she said, yeah, and he said to study what, and she said fashion, and he goes, not engineering, and she was like, no, and then he was like, go graduate. I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's also the same thing. Do you remember on Dawson's Creek, Mr. Green? How he just let Andy off the hook for stealing the,
Answer
uh
key.
yeah, the SAT.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, again, right there, you should have gotten in a lot of trouble. And it was like, "Oh, you know, you're good." And it's like, "Mm."
Mm-hmm. Slapped on the wrist. Yeah, slapped
Yeah.
on the wrist.
And here again, Brooke is getting the same treatment.
Mm-hmm.
"You're good. You did something bad. You're good."
Yeah, as long as she's not doing anything, with advanced math. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, "What? That doesn't make any sense."
I mean, if she was doing something with advanced math, then she would need more than just help with calculus if she thought she could do that. But yeah,
Yeah, but I just didn't like that nothing really got taken from her.
right. I think because it was the last minute, maybe if she had come forward, when she wanted to originally before Rachel, said something to him, then maybe it would have been different. But yeah,
Yeah, because I guess since graduation is like the next day, I guess, could you really expel somebody if they're already done with school?
right. Yeah, because at
Because,
least she's finished. So,
yeah, because I mean, he did say you'd be expelled. Well, if she's already done, I don't know if you can really be expelled,
hmm
you know?
yeah, because then the school would just have her diploma forever. And then that's when Chase comes running up thinking that, Turner's actually going to suspend her. So he's like advocating for her, saying like, if he did it, be a mistake and everything,
And then she was
but
like, shut up and stuff. And
hmm
then that's when she says, I love you for this, but shut up.
yeah. So then they take off and then Lucas is called to the hospital where the doctor tells, him his mom's condition is getting worse and they can't do anything with her being, pregnant with the baby. So they're going to deliver the baby and then help his mom. And then, they got to take it one life at a time because both lives are in danger right now. And then Lucas says, he wants to be there for her when the baby arrives.
That was sweet.
Mm-hmm. And then,
Coach
yeah.
goes
And
to
then,
see Haley
yeah,
at
that's a
their
first.
house, which is weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Just to talk about Nathan, but yeah.
yeah, I was like,
Well,
okay.
actually, it turns out to be more of her too, because I
Yeah,
guess he was seeing her, like his wife. Yeah.
because he was concerned with her because she only wanted to talk about Nathan, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
because that's his coach. But he was like, "But how are you?" Like, and then she's like, "I'll be good," and then he was like, he was then saying um, like, "I bet you wanted to go to Stanford, and like, what about your dreams?" And she's like, "Well, as long as he's doing what he loves, I'll be good." And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
that ain't what he meant.
Yeah, but I do wonder if she would feel different if she wasn't pregnant because she probably thinks she'll be too busy with the baby to even go to college too. Or, yeah, go to college too.
Yeah, or maybe she thinks she'll just be the stay-at-home mom,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to like whatever he does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
She probably would, because like right now, the baby kind of is what's holding them together of like, well, we have to stick together and stay together and go wherever together. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe if she wasn't, it would have been like season 2 where she has different dreams than him and different goals and they don't add up. Where they could be selfish of like, I want to go here, you want to go there, or you can't go there. Um, that kind of thing.
Right.
But because they have a baby, it's like, no, we have to be wherever each other are because that's where the baby is.
Mm-hmm. And then with Camila dying like 9 years before this point, like we never saw their relationship. We never got flashbacks or why are you talking much about them? But here he says, yeah, he would make the same sacrifice for, his wife, but, he
You
would
never
never
had
would
to.
have, yeah, because she
You
didn't ask
never
that. Yeah.
He said because she made all the
sacrificing for him.
yeah, just like Haley's doing.
Yeah, so he doesn't want Haley to do the same thing, her whole life with Nathan, which was, good of him to do. Remind her of that. Like, maybe, yeah, now wouldn't be the best time, but, like, later down the road at least, so she wouldn't have regrets in life later on.
Yeah, because I think he's probably regretting now that he's done with coaching, like,
And she's gone.
yeah, like, maybe she had goals and dreams, but
Mm.
I was her focus, and that wasn't right.
Yeah, and she didn't have the time, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what's in his head, and it's sad to, like, think about that, like, when you're retired, to, like, think about your spouse being gone and, like, they probably, had things they wanted to accomplish in life, but, they didn't.
Yeah. And then back at the factory, Nathan and Charles take a break, and Nathan's struggling moving the pipes around, so Charles jokes, that he just won the state championship, and he can't be that out of shape. And Nathan says he's in game shape, not, move steel beams for the rest of his life shape. And,
Well, then it's funny because he's like, "You do this every day," and he's like, "No, I've been in management for years. I just wanted to see what you were made of."
Yeah.
That was funny. And then I did like how he told Nathan, "You don't have to do this the rest of your life." He's like, a lot of successful people never got scholarships.
Right. Or even went to college, yeah.
Then he goes, "Any of them point shavers?"
Which was the point, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, why he didn't get into college.
Yeah, so Charles asks, Nathan if he regrets, and he says every day. And Charles says because he got caught. So that's when Nathan, explains that, he seems like a good man to him, tells him you seem like a good man, but the thing is he made a mistake and now he's paying for it. And those 32 minutes shouldn't define him for the rest of his life, which is also true.
It shouldn't, but when it comes to college, because it's right after high school, they need okay, here's the thing, like, could he still go to college? Yes. But should he go on a scholarship? No, because you should lose that. You should still be able to go to that college, but you still shouldn't be able to go because of a scholarship. You should have to earn it. You could be like a walk-on, but not from a scholarship. Like, another kid should get the opportunity, not you.
Right.
Like, that should be taken away, but not your college experience. Like, I don't think that should have anything to do with sports. Like, because your academics don't have anything to do with sports. But I don't know with Nathan's grades if he would even have gotten into Duke or another college like that,
Yeah.
because of his grades. Like, Haley could, but I don't know if he could. He was always just only looking out for the scholarship. And let's be honest, his mom can afford him to go to any college because Deb can pay for it.
Yeah, you think that she would use her money to get some pull somewhere, like some other parents have done with their kids. So,
but she can afford him to be a walk-on. She just have to pay for his 4 years of college.
Yeah.
So that's what also doesn't make any sense, is like, you don't come from a family that doesn't have money.
Right.
So they could easily pay for it. So I don't understand why you needed a scholarship so bad when, you have money.
Well, as far as we know from last time, Nathan saw that she didn't have any money, so maybe that's why too. Because there's never any speak of her saying like she wants Nathan to, make money on his own and not have, rely on his family's money to do things. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, she never said that.
No, I'm saying like we never saw her say that, so it doesn't make sense why she wouldn't use money if she had it.
Yeah, because I mean, he moved back into the big house to save money because neither one of them have a job. So that means Deb is paying for all their food, doctor's appointments, everything. So that doesn't make any sense either.
Right. Yeah, so Charles was hoping he would say that so he can believe in himself. And then
it was funny because he says, Charles said, or Chuck said, he said, "By the way, I'm supposed to be meeting my son's girlfriend and her family tomorrow. Anything I should know?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I guess that's how they found out. So they went there early, I guess, because unless Bevan was really late, because everybody was there besides her for the get together.
Where was Skills?
He was in the house. Everybody was in the house except her dad when she walked up on the porch.
Oh,
So she must have been really late. And then at this moment, she's like, I have something to tell you about my boyfriend. So yeah, she was doing it all very late last second. But yeah, because first Skills' dad comes out, because she said my boyfriend's black, and he said, my son is too, but we deal with it. Making the joke. And then
well, at first, wasn't it Melton Skills we're talking? And he said, your parents don't
oh
know
yeah,
Bevan's white. And he goes,
I
it never
completely skipped
came.
that scene, yeah.
He said, it never came up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. It was funny.
Yeah. And Mouth even wanted to go to see how it would play out. And then he tried like making the joke about like he would be more concerned about him being him than him being black, but Skills isn't laughing. And then Brooke and Chase go to the gym that's already set up for graduation, surprisingly, like all set up. Because it seems like this is like a good amount of hours beforehand too, and it's completely empty, but everything's set up, so that was kind of weird.
Hi.
Well, because like I think everybody was like at our school the whole time getting ready. Like nobody was not there.
Hours before? We didn't show up hours before.
When did I show up?
Probably 30 minutes before.
Well, I had to show up early to rehearse with, or was that the day before? I had to rehearse with the choir. I forgot.
Probably the day before because we graduated on a Thursday and kids were still in class.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It had to been, yeah. I just can't remember, but yeah.
But I think too, because for us, they had already set up for candlelight, which was the day before.
Mm-hmm.
That they just probably kept it like that for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just whoever had gym class they had to go outside probably.
Yeah, it just seemed weird. The gym would be empty and the lights would be off and nobody would be there. So yeah.
Well, if it's hours before, I could see.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like somebody would be there supervising the building, the place, or something like the principal and some other people. I don't know. And like making sure things are good, so it wouldn't be all last minute if something went wrong. And then that's when Brooke, quotes Chase from before saying, if you suspend her, you're making a huge mistake, and Chase said, he's just trying to help. And Brooke said she knows he was very cute. And Chase said, he couldn't just stand there and let her not graduate. Besides, it got her to say that she loves him. And just like before, like Chase, she said she didn't say that. And Chase argues that she did, telling him to shut up. And then she said that she loved him for this, but go. And she says, what if she did? And then what if she does? And that's when he goes in to kiss her. But she, asks if they're really going to do this. Like, are they really going to do it before the summer when she leaves and they go to college? Because it's going to suck when it falls apart. So, Chase says, it's just they can do long distance, and
he's going to send the dirtiest text messages to her.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And, he says anything for the girl that he loves, and then they kiss. And Nathan gets home and Haley, asks how did work go at the factory, and he says fine. That's when she asks if she can go over part of her speech to see if it sounds right. And she's still not looking at him when he sits down, covered with oil and dirt from working. And then, stops when she does finally see him and see how worn out he is,
Well, she stops because when she's saying her speech, she gets to the point of, now's the time for all of us to become the people we have always dreamed of becoming or of being. And that's when it's like she looks at him of, nope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's not what he wanted.
Mm-hmm. And then Brooke and Chase are putting on their graduation gowns while Peyton is helping Lucas find a hospital gown. And he goes into the operating room where his mom is. And Peyton watches through the window when Dan walks in and Deb,
that was
who tries
creepy.
to make him leave.
That was funny. You could just see Deb's like, Get out of here.
But he doesn't budge.
And then Lucas sees. And then they're like, it's a girl. And then Dan leaves.
Yeah, I guess because he just wanted to see, I guess, what it was supposed to be.
At first, I was like, did he leave because it was a girl?
Yeah, or leave because Lucas saw him, yeah.
I would just thought maybe it was because it was a girl. He was like, nah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he left pretty fast, and I thought that was odd. And then then they're like, here's your little sister, and it's like, oh, Lucas did not really know what to do.
And yeah, I'm glad Dan at least left so he could have a moment, of me and his sister alone without worrying that Dan's just right behind him.
Right.
And then Lucas is in Karen's room, she's still unconscious, and he's holding his sister when Payne walks in. Payne says that she's beautiful, and then she holds him because Lucas, is afraid to even move because he's so afraid that he might hurt her or harm her.
Yeah, so it was cute to have Peyton because I forgot that Peyton even held Lydia. So
yeah,
or not Lydia. Sorry,
Lily. Yeah, and then she already had experience holding Jenny, so she kind of knew what to do. Well, Lucas didn't. And then Haley and Nathan walk in, and that's
oh my god, that was funny. Nathan's like, okay, now I'm officially scared. It was funny.
Yeah. And Lucas tells them that his mom is still unconscious but stable. They did great. And that's when Haley asks Lucas to step out of the hospital to give him his graduation gift from his mom. Because at first he thought it was from Haley because he says that he has something for her too at the house. But she says that his mom kept it to her, gave it to her so he wouldn't find it in the house.
So when he opens it, it's his, it's his novel that he wrote. And Haley's like, what book? Like, you wrote a book? And it's like, nobody knows except for Peyton.
And Glinda and
no,
Karen.
but I'm saying in the group, like other friends.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton's the only one that he actually told.
Right.
But yeah, it was funny because she had no clue. Yeah. And then I liked how there was a note in there from Karen, like in case she dies, he will have this note that she wrote him. I liked that part because, here we don't know if she's going to make it or not. So I liked that there was something from her to kind of get him through it.
Right. And the callback with the quote from the pilot, remember there's a ride in the fears of men, if I typed that out correctly. But yeah, it's from Julius Caesar, the same book that Haley gave him in the beginning.
But Haley didn't really give it to him. Karen gave it to him.
Yeah, like she was saying that it was from both of them, but yeah, Karen was the one that spotted it.
It was weird because Lucas says, you remember when you gave me the book, and I'm like, she didn't give you that. And even in the flashback, they show it.
Karen, like from both of them, yeah.
Karen gives him the book. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like physically she gave him the book, but it was like their idea, yeah. And then he has that vulnerable moment where he tells Haley like he just needs her to be his mom again, and she says that she will be. She knows, and at least with this optimistic, it was still kind of iffy because at least they never knew, but from the viewer side, we know it's and from watching the future of the show, we know that it's more realistic than Nathan's situation. And then Nathan's watching the babies in the nursery, and that's when Deb walks in saying that he'll have a baby of his own soon.
So then that's where she tells him about Dan. Because she says, because Nathan says like about graduation, like, Dan will be there and stuff. And that's when she says, like, stay away from him. And that's when she goes on. And so we don't see what she actually says to him, but it's funny because you just see his reaction and like it was good.
Yeah, through the glass, yeah.
And it was just funny because it's like over all the babies, all you see is Nathan.
Yeah.
And then he's got to go right to Dan. So this is where I was telling you that, remember like last time where Nathan finds out, but he doesn't really believe it until Dan says it. And he says it without saying it. I will say that was pretty hard to watch, Nathan.
Right, yeah.
Because he wants to believe, for some odd reason, that his father's good. And, he's like, "Mom and Lucas, they're telling me, that you killed him," and, um, that's when he just sits there.
Mhm.
And then that's when Nathan says, "Stay away from me, and, you'll never know my son," which is kinda funny because of the future.
Yeah, so at least Dan wasn't trying to manipulate Nathan like Lucas, trying to make it look like it wasn't, something that he did.
Yeah, and I was happy that he wasn't like, "Well, you know, your mom and Lucas are crazy,
Mhm.
and your
Yeah.
mom has a history of it." Like, I was happy
Mhm.
he didn't say that because he very easily could have.
Mhm. And then before that, Lucas was in Karen's room saying like, she has to wake up because she never even told him what the name of the baby would be. Like she never even said like if it's a boy it's gonna be this, and if it's a girl it's gonna be this, kind of thing.
Mhm.
She's probably waiting until she met the baby to, figure out what she wanted the name to be. But then Payne and Deb check in, and Payne tells them they should get going if they don't want to miss graduation. And Lucas wants to skip it. But Payne says there's something he should see. That's when he sees that all of his friends are there for him and want him to go to the graduation ceremony too. It's one of something that happens at least once in somebody's life. And Payne brings up how he told her that she would miss prom if she didn't go. And I mean, she didn't end up going anyhow. But yeah, so same thing. He would regret not going to the ceremony if he doesn't show up.
Oh, also, before that, that's when Bevan's parents and Skill's parents meet, and it was so funny because, like, um, it was, Skills' mom that was like, "Skills, get out here," and, um, because she wanted to meet his girlfriend and stuff, and then Bevan's mom was like she was giving her a hard time about how she, wished she would have met them sooner.
Mm-hmm.
It was so funny
Yeah.
because they were playing it as if, like, it was, like, a problem, but they were all getting along. It was funny.
Mm-hmm. And I think Skills' dad even liked the quiche or somebody. So
Yeah, because they were like, "We're even having that," and it's like but then
mhm.
they changed the menu, and then that's when,
It
yeah,
was
Scattered
Bevan's mom. Yeah, I was like, see, somebody
yeah.
likes it. Hmm. And then,
So Deb isn't going to graduation.
right, because she's gonna be there to guard Karen to make sure Dan doesn't get close.
I was like, "No one's parents are going to, uh, graduation."
Right. Yeah, what you said.
Mhm.
Hmm. And then, yeah, and Deb tells Lucas that, waiting at the hospital or at the ceremony is the same thing. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but kind of not, because if something goes wrong, then he's
You're
already right
there.
there. Yeah.
Yep.
But if he's at the school, then it might take him some time to get there and back. And if she passes, and he won't make it in time. So,
Yep, and I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, "But it's not because if you go there, everyone's gonna be all, like, happy and excited, and you're not, like
yeah.
and you don't wanna be because you don't know what's happening to your mom, so, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Plus, he's so protective over her against Dan that you would want to be at the hospital 24/7.
Hmm. Yeah. Because I had the latter situation with my dad.
Isn't there a time where, like, if the baby's healthy, she can go home?
Yeah, should be.
Who's she gonna go home to?
Yeah. I don't know. Just only Lucas. Yeah.
Well,
And then,
I guess he's 18, he can legally take her home.
and then Peyton can help him because she helped take care of Jenny too.
Mhm.
And Haley as well. When she's able to, because she has the baby, but yeah, her own baby. And then with Dan too, like he didn't even look at Nathan for even a second during that whole conversation. So that's how you know that, he actually does feel guilty, and not just because he's gonna lose Karen, but because he knows this is hurting Nathan, which is something, because he didn't feel this way at all with Lucas.
Yeah.
He was trying to get Lucas to be locked up, if anything, but yeah,
Mhm.
he actually cared about Nathan here for the first time in a while. because he kind of goes back and forth. Like he cares about Nathan, then he cares about Lucas, cares about Nathan. So it's just
Yeah.
Nathan's turn this time.
Yeah, that's why I said it's, at every point there's always just one son he's like happy about
Claiming, yeah.
and getting along with. So then Nathan is at Keith's grave for the first time apparently. And then Whitey comes up because he's visiting Camille. Is that her name?
Camila, yeah.
And so that's when he brings up that he got a coaching job at a college and he asked Nathan to play, of course.
Yeah, that seemed really convenient and
I know.
last second.
It's like, what?
Yeah,
guess. Well, I guess he was probably debating it when he talked to Haley. And once Haley said, like, I'll go wherever, then he's like, okay, I guess I'll coach. I'll take the job so that Nathan can play.
Right. I'm just surprised he got this job when just a few days ago, maybe not even that, he was like going to retire. It seemed like from coaching.
Well,
for good.
He did just high school apparently.
Yeah, it just seemed like he was done for like life anywhere.
Yeah, I guess he can never retire from basketball. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's basically like Mr. Finney has to follow around somebody around the schools that they go to.
But I was also like, he really loves Nathan. And I know I've pointed out before, but he really loves Nathan.
Yeah.
In order to do this,
Right. And then at the graduation ceremony, Turner announces the students across the stage. Everybody's caught up, Brooke, Mouth, Bevan, and she trips and slides across the stage a little bit.
That was
but
funny.
Then gets back up with a smile and wave. And then Peyton is up next, and then Lucas, Nathan, Skills, Fergie. So who was the one that we're talking about that was probably college? Junk, yeah. So I think this finally confirms that Junk actually wasn't a high school student. He actually is the adult already.
Oh, yeah.
And then even Turner says Rachel's name as well.
I don't think he would have said that if Brooke didn't come forward.
Right.
Also, they do things differently.
Yeah, because they announced names before the speech.
Well, not that, but like Haley is sitting up there and then she doesn't even go back to with the rest of the class to get her diploma. She is still sitting up there. They announce all the names and then he says her name.
Yeah,
and then
she
makes the speech and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Because they didn't do that with us.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
because it seems like I'm glad they didn't do that with us because that person, the valedictorian, should be sitting with their class to graduate. Like they shouldn't be the standout. I mean, they need to sit with the rest of us.
Maybe they did it because she was pregnant, so they didn't want to make her walk.
I don't know. I saw it on Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh.
Where the valedictorian, salutatorian were up on stage and then the graduating class was in the audience like this, on the ground. And I didn't like it then either because I'm like, they're not with their class. The people that all their classmates are the ones that they've had for all these years. I'm like, what's the point of that?
Right.
So, I don't know, I guess some places do it differently. I don't know.
And then, she starts giving her speech, coming back with that quote again, there is a tie in the affairs of men. And,
did you like how Lucas was mouthing the line?
That part, yeah, that was funny. How they all brought it back together for this.
And he was getting it right on point though. Like it wasn't like one of them was off. They were in sync.
Yeah. And because Lucas knows that quote so well too. And then we see Dan looking at Lily through the nursery window, which was creepy because he shouldn't be there at all. And then even the nurse brings Lily to him to hold, and he does hold her.
Oh my god! Oh.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, where was Deb? Was she, in the bathroom or getting?
No.
I mean, she was in Karen's room, but still,
Deb was in Karen's room.
Yeah, I'm saying she didn't check I guess she should have thought of, it wasn't just Karen he might go after. It would be the Lily too. So she wasn't like covering both bases, but she can't be in two places at once also. But yeah.
Yeah, because if she was with the baby, then he would have been in her room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other thing too was she thought that the staff was going to protect the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So because nobody would be in there to protect Karen.
Right.
They would be there to protect the baby in the room. So, or in the nursery. So I think she probably thought at least there's staff there, where here she would be alone if something happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Lucas probably before he left, he could have told the staff like, don't let so and so like near my mom or the baby. Like that could have been arranged, but he didn't take that opportunity.
Neither did Deb. Like none of
I
them
mean,
said.
yeah, I feel like Lucas would have been the one to have to say it since he's Karen's son, being the advocate and next of kin. So
I I just thought it was crazy too, because I'm like, it. What? She didn't even get to hold her baby.
mm-hmm. And he did first, yeah.
Dan held the baby before Karen did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Right.
I was upset at that. I was like, she just said the nurse or whatever. She was just like, "Would you like to hold your niece?" And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
don't call her that.
Right.
I mean, but I did like when he was like looking at her. I think he was
Mm-hmm.
looking at the fact that like I killed your father.
Yeah. The guilt was hitting him, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what was going through his head of like, "Mm, I killed him." It's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now she won't grow up without a father. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why he went to the police station after that. Yeah.
Thank God. I guess it took for him to see the baby.
Right. And then, Haley goes on her long speech about everything, and that's when her contractions start, but she keeps going. And then Karen flatlines at the hospital, and Haley is still speaking, saying, life doesn't owe them anything. As a matter of fact, she thinks that they owe something to the world, and if they can just believe. And that's when she starts laughing, because it's the contractions are getting closer to each other. She knows she has to stop, saying, sorry, there's more, but I think I'm having my baby. And everyone, is shocked. And Nathan stands up and she just smiles at him. And then it's like slow mo with like a freeze and fade out to black. So,
Mm-hmm. So it, so like, what was I gonna say? Oh, so my high was seeing Lily
mm-hmm.
because I know it's gonna be focused on Nathan and Haley's baby.
Right.
And I forgot Peyton held her and Lucas held her in this episode. And my high was them all graduating, and hopefully Brooke could now let this whole cheating thing go.
Mm-hmm.
And then the low though was Dan holding Lily.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I also, one of my highs was having Lucas be able to confide in somebody,
Mm-hmm.
which was Deb. So
Yeah. And mine are those two for the highs, but also the part where Nathan finds out he can actually play somewhere now, so he won't have to work at the factory like he was every day for years or for the rest of his life. Even though that would have been a good plot line for next season, but then he ends up doing that anyway, so it just would have been bad to do it twice. And then the bad was Karen being out this whole episode, so she can't even see Lily, but everybody else can. And like you said, like Dan getting to hold her before she does, so, and before she even has a name. So
and also my other low is Karen didn't get to see Lucas graduate.
yeah,
Because she worked 18 years and never got to see him graduate.
right.
Because he was her pride and joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but as far as we know, she at least was there for his college graduation, hopefully at least.
Yeah.
So that's something.
So I mean, she couldn't help that this
Right, yeah.
happened. I mean, and I mean, the fact that Deb was such a good friend that she missed her own son's graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I guess you could say, like, for Karen, she can go to Lily's,
Mm-hmm.
but Deb doesn't have another kid.
Right, or her grandkids, yeah.
So it's like she won't get the opportunity to watch her son or daughter, walk across the stage for graduation in high school. Because even in college, he could be like Dan and doesn't graduate
Mm-hmm.
and just leaves. So you don't know if they're actually gonna finish.
Right.
So that's the whole thing too. And your high school graduation is a big milestone.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everyone goes to college, but most people graduate high school.
Right.
Um, and then I would rate this a 9. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say 9 too.
And then your best and worst.
The worst was Dan, for obvious reasons. He was trying to manipulate Lucas to get out of, finding Karen out that he killed Keith. And then, trying to, seeing the baby before Karen did. And basically making everybody, feel this kind of way about this, graduation. Like Nathan, has to find out, the last second that his dad is actually murdered and he's not going to be there for the rest of his life or his son's life. He has to, now protect his son from his own dad, which is a sad thing to do. And then the best was Deb, because she was actually a good mom and a good person in here, watching Karen, and then, letting Nathan, or letting Lucas, go to graduation because he was going to skip it, and stay with Karen. So,
Yeah, that was my answer is Dan worst. And then, yeah, for me, definitely the best was Deb because she was the only adult in this episode that was like doing the right thing.
mm-hmm.
And gave up watching her son graduate so that she could watch Karen and make sure Deb or Dan doesn't come around.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean that's huge to like sacrifice that
Right.
for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I thought she was definitely being mature and did that. I liked it. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
we've seen her in such a downhill. It was nice
Mm-hmm.
to see her be an adult on the show.
Right.
Because season 4, she has not been great. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that this episode she was finally coming back to her old self,
Mm-hmm.
where she was responsible.
Right.
So yeah, and I was happy that she was just letting Lucas too be a kid
Mm-hmm.
and not having all the responsibility on him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice too.
Yeah.
And then what's the next episode?
The season finale of season 4, episode 21, All of a Sudden I Miss Everyone, which makes sense for the finale, but yeah.
Yep, it does. All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.